We got a rain shower right on the edge of the field. I just landed and here comes Mike. Rain's about 3, maybe 2.5 miles off the end of the runway. Not a real big cell, but on the new machine. Nice. Rolls it on. Almost like he's done it before.
This morning. What a freaking disaster. And a wet wing followed by trying to make it work, trying to make it fit when it didn't fit. Walked all the way down to the middle of the field, blew a launch there. Not a whole lot of fun. Hot and sweaty. I had my brake line sticking to my arm. Woo! A little bit bumpy now, so this isn't going to be a very long flight, but I'm so glad I got up airborne. So the Rebel field flying is on. Is soaking wet still. Everything on my equipment is just absolutely drenched. My lines are wet, my brake toggles are soaked. Tough morning. But it is beautiful. There are no major thermals right now. Nice and calm. My own wake. So Ripa got his new wing. Be interesting to see what he comes up with that. I'm sure it's going to be the best thing he's ever had since sliced bread. He'll be telling us all about how great it is and how we need to go buy one. That boy is good at spending other people's money. Woo!
This is Chris. He's been flying for 12 years. He's in his 60s, and he knows how to do this. Watch the old guys that have been flying for a long time, and just makes it look easy.
chicken shit smell makes it easy to find the thermals.
Well, by the time I made this landing, I was so tired, almost physically exhausted from flying for so many straight days, that I decided to try to reach out and grab the ground as it was going by with my right leg. And the wing kind of wanted to oscillate to the left here, and I was jerking on the brakes. I think I pulled my groin muscle here. But the following landing really cemented the fact that I was injured. I never even so much as tried to run out the landing. I was in a little bit of pain. So I kind of took a step back from all of the flying and started instead talking to some of the people at the fly-in. Well, the first guy that I engaged in conversation was Todd Scandrett. You might know him as the frontman for Resurgence PPG. I'd first met Todd at Wings Over Winter this past January, and we talked a little bit about his mission and his vision for Resurgence, and I left it at that. But as time has gone by, it's really become something I'm interested in. Todd had done a little homework and talked to some of the other local pilots that live close to Rebel Field and fly in the area, and he picked out a couple airports that he decided he wanted to try to organize a loose cross-country to. I have a lot of experience flying from one airport to the other. Although I was injured, I offered to ride along in the chase vehicle, and it was a fantastic experience. I would like to see Todd continue with this Resurgence PPG sponsored cross-country event at all future fly-ins. Todd started with putting the word out Friday night that we would have a briefing for the event at 6:30 a.m. on Saturday morning. We had 18 or 20 pilots show up to the briefing, and by the time it was all said and done, 10 had embarked on the cross-country once the fog burned off. I have offered to help Todd write a white paper that serves as an introduction to the cross-country event that pilots will be given when they check in for the fly-in. So they'll have some time to absorb all of the information, the route, how to expect the chase vehicle to assist them in recovery and delivering fuel to these remote airports, and what they shouldn't expect. Well, as the morning wore on, riding around in the chase vehicle, it became painfully obvious that not all PPG pilots have the same approach to conquering a triangle-shaped cross-country. Several pilots got airborne and then turned back. They felt that the weather was below their personal minimum criteria for continuing on the cross-country. We had one, in fact I think it was Todd himself, who diverted to the second airport in the triangle.
That's not who I thought it was.
That's cheating. Congratulations. You guys are the only successful ones.
Did everyone else stop?
Landed in various places and turned back.
Oh, really? Good to see. We got fogged in. What's up, man?
Glad you made it.
Where the hell did you guys go?
We got fogged in big time, dude.
You guys were going...
A few other folks had some difficulty and landed short of the destination, or landed because of the fact that where they were flying in particular, the weather was excessively low, and we spent the morning driving around and retrieving those folks. One man out of the entire 18 did the entire cross-country as it was laid out on paper at the briefing. So the single reason I want to encourage Todd to continue with the Resurgence PPG cross-country event at future fly-ins is to build the skill of navigation, of flying from point A to point B, and to pair pilots together so that they can learn from each other. One of the things that Todd and I had discussed was the reality that The PPG community that attends these fly-ins cannot fully support the mission of Resurgence PPG. It's just too small of a community to draw such a tremendous amount of resource to do what they do, which is helping disabled veterans experience powered paragliding. I tried as much as I could to convey to Todd that it's extremely important that he use social media and the broad-based appeal of lots and lots of exposure to garner the support that Resurgence really needs.
Tommy Kubat's airborne, they're heading to Shelby. So the 4 guys that are on the course still are getting ready for a midday launch. It's hot and it's thermally. George says it was one rough ride in here from his relaunch.
Yeah, be advised, we got a G5 coming in, landing in about 24 minutes, and he's going to be landing on 2-3. Roger that.
There's a jet arrival on this runway in about 20 minutes. Tom, there's jet traffic arriving on this runway in 20 minutes.
Having said that, however, I think this cross-country idea as a sanctioned event in the name of Resurgence PPG at future fly-ins is the ticket for ensuring that Resurgence and its mission continues as a viable entity into the future. Butch here suffered the unfortunate failure of a propeller that he had been loaned, and he lost his cell phone in the process. So when we picked him up, we got to talking, and he told me he had about 1,700 hours of paraglider flying.
Found his iPhone. He dropped it from the Paramotor.
Yes. Called it from Todd's phone.
And he's very happy about it because it saved him a lot of grief.
Very happy to be on the ground.
Yeah, we're on it.
I wasn't particularly blown away by the total number of hours, but when Butch went on to tell me that he'd only been flying for 2.5 years, I was absolutely flabbergasted.
Hits it. Way to go, buddy. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Hang in there. Awesome.